Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Morgan Options. Here I show you how to trade binary options. And today's strategies will be... Stop! Before we get started, I just want to ask you one thing. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and put a like. Because I've never seen such a detailed guide like mine anywhere else. And of course, don't forget about my Telegram channel. Message me on Telegram and get even more useful information and start trading with me. So let's get to our trading today. Today I'm trading on cryptocurrencies and I have already analyzed and selected all assets with the most optional payout percentage and movement patterns. Today is not a complex trend strategy and it is one of the main in my arsenal, and its essence is to analyze the trend. For this purpose, I have selected the indicator Alligator and ZigZag. Also, in the conjunction with them, I will have a SSI oscillator with a period of 15. And also, in addition to trend trades, on this strategy, you can open trades against the direction of the trend. Just for this purpose, I need here ZigZag and SSI oscillator. In general, I will try to explain each trade in detail, so that by the end of watching the video you can have as much positive information and as few questions as possible. Come on, let's start with a trade of $75. This is exactly half of my starting balance, and all trades I will open as usual on the minute time frame. Let's start analyzing, and I will choose the first asset for the most optional entry into the deal. And let's analyze here the first trade I will open on the upside in the direction of the actual dynamics of the trend. The opening occurs after the formation of a local minimum, which showed me the zigzag. The moving lines of the alligator also turned again and again began to show the upward dynamics directions. After this pullback, and the trend has, or rather this section of the movement, has a very strong upward character. So the moving line did not cross the oversold area. It immediately reversed and went up. That's why I am opening a trade for a rise here. Let's see its result. And the first trade closes in the plus. Even so, I opened the trade at the wrong opening timing, as I personally think the trade should have been opened a little bit earlier. But in general, still the signal fully justified itself, and I have closed the position in plus. Great, let's continue and I will pick up the next assets. And this is where I want to take a risk, actually, and open a trade against the direction of the actual trade. The dynamics of the movement, in fact, yes, and here I am taking a risk, because the alligator shows me a very strong downward dynamics, and it is easier to open in the direction of the trend here, rather than catching some trend, the slightest pullback in the dynamics. But since now there is an update of the local minimum and the moving lines of the oscillator is coming out of the oversold area, that's why I decided to take a risk here and open a trade against the trend direction. So let's see. And the deal closes in minus. The risk was not justified, but of course the deal closed right next to the opening level, and perhaps any slightest impulse up could have closed my position in the plus. But it didn't happen. Let me put my balance maximum now. I have to take risk now to get to a more satisfactory profit. So let's continue and I will pick up the next cryptocurrency. And this is where I'm going to open a position on the downside. In general, here I will again be guided by the local high and my moving line. We can see that there was an update and also was the exit in the overbought area. So we will wait for the reversal of the dynamics. Here just I'm not watching the dynamics of the moving lines of the alligator yet, because they will now show me exactly this pullback of the dynamics. But since the trend is downward, here I will open in the direction of the trend. Let's see. And the trade closes in the plus side without any problems. Perfect entry point and no problems at all. I think it was also very clear, because the signal was quite simple. So let me again put the maximum amount of value for the opening of the next trade. I will again take risks to get to a more satisfactory profit on today's trade. Let's continue and I will pick up the next crypto asset. And this is where I'm probably going to try to open a trade against the direction of the actual momentum right away again. And I'm not oriented here by the alligator. I think that this touch point should work at least in the next minute, and only then the breakout will occur. Most likely, there will be the formation of a new global price high, but I think there should be a small pullback before that. The moving lines of the oscillator is also in the overbought area, so let's watch for the result. And the pullback has actually happened, and I close the trade in the plus. Great. Let's put the maximum value amount again for the next trade. The price is behaving more or less well today. Good volatility. It will be more qualitative and detailed just to pick the trade so that I don't make a mistake, and in general, this signal has fully worked itself out. Today, of course, it turns out to open trades mostly against the direction of the trend dynamics. Now I will try to find some entry in the direction of the trend. Let's continue and I will pick up the next assets. And let me open here. I'm going to open in the direction of the downtrend dynamics. Okay, we have already opened a trade here in a pullback. Yes, and closed it in the negative. But now I'm going to open a trade in the direction of the actual trend. The alligator is showing me a very strong trend. There was a pullback earlier. Formation of a local high. There was also a small pullback again. And I think that after this pullback, the dynamics should go down again. Let's see. And I was absolutely right. After this pullback, in the next few seconds, my momentum went down and I closed the trade in the plus. Great! So, well, now I probably don't want to risk the whole balance. I am more or less satisfied with the profit. Let's open a trade in the amount of $191. And even if I close the trade in the negative, it's not a big deal. So let's continue and I will pick up the next crypto assets. And in fact, here I have again continued the pullback dynamics. The local maximum on the ZigZag is forming now again. And it turns out that I open on the few formation of this pullback, and I think that I'm going to open on the very formation of this pullback. Also, that the further dynamics of movement I can go down. There is no touching points on the nearest here. There is no rebound point. So, let's see, the logic of entry is absolutely the same. And unfortunately, the pullback has continued. There is even a crossover the moving alligator line. Of course, I hurried here. But it was interesting for me to open a trade and test this entry. The recovery of the dynamics is most likely happening after this impulse movement. As I said before, I will be absolutely satisfied with the profit. So let's fix it and I will move on to the conclusion. The amount of today's profit will be $650. Withdrawal operation is successfully completed. This is how trading turned out today with the use of this strategy. Yes, perhaps you might think that it is quite a difficult method of trading, but in general, it's really nothing complicated. No, a little practice and a good analysis of the chart before you start your trade and you will be fine, I assure you. In general, you also need to pick up the nature of movement, yes, sometimes. There is a very strong volatility and many of the entry points may not work. I think you all understand this. But in general, the strategy is not bad. And if you still have any question about the application of this strategy, in the description under the video you can find a link to my Telegram and ask any question you may have. I will try to help everyone. And of course, have a good day, guys, and see you soon.